Welcome to the Beginner Guitar Academy podcast, a podcast where we provide tips and tricks to take the confusion out of learning to play guitar. Beginner Guitar Academy is a fast-growing online guitar school taking you from complete beginner to well-rounded guitarist. So are you ready for your next guitar lesson?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Here's your host, Amazon best-selling author of the book Learn to Play Electric Guitar, Paul Andrews.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Beginner Guitar Academy podcast. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing isolation. And I've no doubt this is one of those simple ideas that you're going to kick yourself because you've not thought about it sooner. I know that's the experience I've had with this. It's like, well, why have I not thought about that? It's so simple. My guitar teacher didn't tell me about it. So I'm guessing you've probably not heard about it either. It's going to be interesting to see if you have been, but I imagine you probably haven't. Now, this has been taken from the Beginner Guitar Academy Quick Tip tutorials. And as the name sort of suggests, Quick Tip tutorials are short little bite-sized tutorials where I introduce an idea, you can then take it away and put it straight in your guitar playing. So I've basically taken the audio from one of those videos. Now, before we do dive into the episode, I just want to do a quick bit of housekeeping. Firstly, I hope you are safe. Obviously, COVID-19, we've got a global pandemic, so everything's got a bit crazy. But I hope you are safe and well, and I hope guitar has been a welcome distraction from all the crazy we now find ourselves in. Now, my world has been turned upside down. If you wonder where Beginner Guitar Academy has been, I've been very active on social over the last few months. It's because my life has been turned upside down. My wife was on a 4-year career break. She's an occupational therapist in the hospitals. She went back during the lockdown to obviously help out. She went back full time. I was then left looking after our 2 girls, homeschooling them, as well as taking my offline guitar school online and teaching over Zoom. So everything was a bit crazy for the last few months. The girls are now back at school. We're back now teaching in person. So I've had more time now to get back into Beginner Guitar Academy, finish up the last few tutorials, work on the website, and I'm happy to say we are ready to kind of reopen our doors for enrollment, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And there's some really cool stuff coming. I have moved over to new hosting, so the site is now really fast, one of the fastest beginner guitar websites, and there's some really cool features to the website. Classes and video evaluation being two of the main ones, which I'm going to discuss further in videos that I'll release a little bit closer to the doors opening and now these new enrollments starting, and I'll do some kind of a new podcast episode as well where I'll go a bit more in depth with that. But for the meantime, let's dive into this episode and discuss isolation. In this quick tip, I want to talk about the idea of isolation, and that is as simple as isolating one hand. So not going in, both hands are blazing, like everyone always does. And it's one of these simple ideas, but no one does it. It's very easy to dive in with both hands, as I say, and then you're looking at both hands. It's like you're watching tennis, you're going backwards and forwards, and you're not really identifying or working just on that one thing you need to work on. Now, a great example of this is something like chords. You might have like a change, you might work on a chord change and doing your G chord to your C chord. And this is how everyone would normally do it. You're just changing and strumming at the same time. The problem here is the strum is actually slowing down the left hand. So actually the amount of repetitions you can get is being slowed down because you're kind of waiting for that strum of the right hand. And the problem is you are still, even if you are looking at that hand, you're still having to worry about strumming. That's still something else you're having to do. And we can't multitask. If you are trying to multitask, you are shifting your attention onto the next thing and then coming back to the original thing. So the idea here is to isolate the left hand, which is the hand which we need to be doing for this skill of chords, and just then focusing all our attention on that, and then you can look at exactly what's going on and make sure everything's going where it should be. Straight away, you can see the amount of repetitions I can do now without that right hand getting in the way is a lot more. It's really slowing it down, so you're going to get more bang for your buck. You know, if you've got a few minutes practice, you'll get a lot more of that few minutes. It's more efficient. You can then really drill into where those fingers are going, the placement of those fingers, and you're just going to get a lot more out of it. Again, so simple, this isolation. No one does it. Everyone always goes in with both hands. Another example, strumming. Very easy when we're strumming. You know, it's a right hand action. It's the right hand that's going to be doing the work, but everyone wants to bring in the left hand. Everyone wants to do it with a chord. Reason behind that is it does sound more musical with a chord. It sounds better. It sounds like a tune, which is why everyone wants to do it. The problem again, it's going to slow it down because you are focusing your attention on two things. You're not actually focusing on the one thing, which is our strumming or rhythm. You're focusing on chords as well. We're now mixing two skills together. We just want to be focused on rhythm. So dampen the strings or do them open, dampen them just to completely mute the sound. And then you can focus all your attention on the right hand. You can focus on the direction you're doing, you can focus on your plectrum control, your grip of the pick. All these kind of little things are going to make the biggest difference to your strumming or rhythm. So really focus on the thing that needs to be focused on, the isolation of that one hand, that one skill. Right hand or left hand, decide which one it is. Obviously that'll be dictated by which scale it is. If it's on like picking, that is going to be your right hand. If it's strumming, that's going to be your right hand. Arpeggios, that's going to be the right hand. Shouldn't be using left hand at all. But if it's on like chords, maybe scales, when you're focusing on your scale shape, again, isolating that pattern. So you're looking at your scale shape, you're just focusing on playing it with the left hand and ignoring the right hand. Now, I say this, the right hand is obviously going to come in eventually because you need to hear what you're doing. So it is going to come in, and you obviously want to check the sound as well. If you're doing chords, we want to check the sound, but that is not the first thing to be focusing on. So bear this in mind when you're practicing the idea of isolation. Make sure you're focusing on the most important thing, the hand that is actually doing the thing that you want to be focusing on, and you'll get more bang for your buck. So there's the idea, isolation. Take that with you in your practice room, and I'll see you again for another tip. And there we go, that is isolation. So I'm guessing it's probably something you've not really heard about before, or maybe it is. I'll be really interested to hear if it is something you're already doing in your practice. And if it isn't, hopefully, it's something you can put in there and that's going to really help you out. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. Also, leave a review, that'd be super helpful. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks with the next episode, which is going to be about 10 ways to stay motivated. Thanks for listening and take care.
Thank you for listening to the Beginner Guitar Academy podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, updates, or to start your membership today, please visit us at www.beginnerguitaracademy.com. Until next time, take care.